Welcome to the Negative HP channel. I am Phil the Gray, and this is Gray Robe Review, where I will be talking about various games, specifically board games behind me. There they are. I have lots of those, and video games, particularly RPGs, because those are my favorites. So today I figured I would start with the uh, big time RPGs of my youth and even today, with Final Fantasy 16 coming out soon, which I'm very hyped about. Uh, this is the Final Fantasy series. So I'm going to do a tier ranking list. And maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Some of these are generational issues. Sometimes people don't like certain ones because of their age when they played the game, I noticed, but whatever, we can agree to disagree. So let's get into the list. And this is only the main series. So you can see here, they're here at the bottom. So I figure I'll start with number one and put it where I think it belongs here on the list and give you a little commentary what I think. So, Final Fantasy One, the classic, the beginning. Uh, the NES version was, of course, my first game I played, and I still go back to that one. Not the NES version, but some of the remakes that they did. Just because you could create your own crew and or create your own party, and that was always fun to mix and match the different classes. So Final Fantasy One, that's not Final Fantasy One. Final Fantasy One, I'm gonna put B. It's it's not one that I want to play too often. Just every 5 or 6 years, maybe I want to play it. And the story is kind of, whatever. So I put it solid B, kind of in the middle. Let's see. Next is Final Fantasy 2. Where's Final Fantasy 2? That's not Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 2, don't remember a lot about that one. And what I do remember, I don't remember particularly liking that much. And it's nothing wrong with the game, so to say, but um, I don't know, just not a big fan of that one. I don't think I ever completed that one either. I'm going to put that at a C. It's not terrible for me, but it's not, you know, one of the ones that spring to mind when I think of the beloved series. So I'll put that one at a C. Not a lot to say about that one, to be honest. Let's see, Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3 was an interesting one because I think that one introduced job classes to an extent. And and I want to say they remade that one a few times also, or remastered it or whatever. I think I played this not too terribly long ago. Again, it's not one of my favorites and it's not one of my least favorites, so I'm going to put it at a B. I thought it was interesting game with the um almost like a Skyrim before Skyrim existed, where I think you attacked with certain abilities and you got stronger based on that. So I think it's that game. That might be Final Fantasy 2. So this is the problem. I'm getting these mixed up. So you know, 2 and 3 weren't released in the US initially. They skipped those and they went to Final Fantasy 4, which Final Fantasy 4 is one of my favorites in the series. I just like the Cecil storyline with the Dark Knight turning into a paladin. It might be a little simplistic, but I loved all the characters in that series, and they were all had their own individual powers. Go to the moon. You can do cool summons with the character Rydia or Rydia, however you pronounce it. I always pronounce it Rydia. Yeah, you're gonna notice I pronounce things weirdly in this, so just it's my southern accent. Um, One of my favorites, so I'm gonna put it at an S. You may disagree with that. That's okay. I really like that one. Have fond memories of it. Have played it multiple times. So I'm gonna put it very high. Um, some of my favorite characters are from that series too. I think Kane, who was the first kind of like betrayer kind of character, I always thought was cool. And then he had kind of the redemption arc at the end. Let's see, Final Fantasy 5. Yeah, this one had some kind of characters were kind of weird in this one, I felt. You had the pirate and the some guy named Galoof or something. But in the Japanese version, his name's Butts or Bots. And of course, in the American version, they changed it to Barts, so it's not doesn't sound like butt. Um, I like this one pretty well. I'll, I'll give it an A. It's not my favorite of the series, but I did like the job stuff in this one. And I'm not sure if I'm mixing up 3 and 5 with the job thing, but I'm pretty positive 5 had the job system. That's the more memorable one. I never finished that one, and it's kind of a running joke with me and my friends that I don't finish a lot of things. But Final Fantasy games I typically finish. That's one thing I do finish. And Final Fantasy 5, I don't think I ever beat that one. I'm pretty sure I beat the rest of these at least once. Let's see. Next, Final Fantasy 6. Yes, the pinnacle. And if I could put that in front of 4 even, because I don't know if that makes a difference on these tier lists, but Final Fantasy 6 is my favorite in the whole series. Love that one. Love the story. Love the characters. Love the end of the world scenario where you think your characters are going to save the world. They don't. Gets obliterated. And then you kind of pick up the pieces, and has one of my favorite villains in the series, Kefka. Just a madman kind of character. Um, I love the Magitech stuff, kind of almost like steampunk kind of environment. Seems like this one might be when Final Fantasy started heading and kind of like tech into the tech stuff. I don't recall the other ones having that much of that kind of stuff. Maybe the airships and a few other things, but Final Fantasy 6 was the first that really moved it into like a whole different setting almost. I could go on and on about Final Fantasy 6. The characters are awesome. Terra, Locke, Cian, Sabin, Edgar. They're all pretty awesome. And what's not awesome is I remember when you pay Shadow, the character Shadow, to join your party, and then he would just randomly disappear. I'm like, what the hell? I just paid you. But I love that character also. So Final Fantasy VI, number one game. So that kind of screws up the rest of the list, I guess. But because now you know my number one game, Final Fantasy VI. Doesn't screw up the rest of the list, I don't guess. Seven, another. Um, I think six, was on the Super Nintendo in America, and seven was a this big deciding factor in me buying a PlayStation, shifting away from Nintendo. And my shift away from Nintendo was for a long time after that. So um, I'm kind of a Sony, not Sony fanboy, but I'm pretty dedicated to Sony. I usually buy each of their systems. And one big factor of me getting a PlayStation 5 recently is actually Final Fantasy 16 being on that system. So that's why I picked that up, or that's one of the major reasons anyway. So Final Fantasy 7 was a major reason I got PlayStation 1. And Final Fantasy 7, where are you? Here you are. Another S tier game, I think. It's an iconic game in the Final Fantasy series. I love the materia system. I thought that was a really cool system. I haven't talked much about the magic systems yet, but most of them were kind of using the magic point system for the most part. Um, Final Fantasy VI had the espers, which you could was one of my another favorite system where you could use the espers to learn new spells. So I thought that was a really cool system, and the bonus was you could summon them and they could do attacks and stuff. Final Fantasy VII had the materia system, which the stronger weapons and armor. I guess it was only weapons. I haven't played this game in a long time. You can probably tell. Um, so that game, uh, the story and everything, I really enjoyed. Got a little gets a little weird with Sephiroth, which is most of the games get a little weird at the end. Everyone's a god or have ascended, or I don't know why this is an ongoing theme in a lot of Final Fantasy games, but there it is. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorites. I haven't played the remake. I want to eventually, but uh, haven't got around to it yet. Some people don't like it because it's such a uh, difference, I guess. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII. Okay, so I missed Final Fantasy IV AF. What is AF? Final Fantasy AF. uh, After something. I do remember playing this one vaguely, but I don't remember. I think this is the one you play some of the kids or something. And I wasn't, you think I would love this one, but wasn't a huge fan of that one. So I'll just put that one there. I didn't play it that much, but it was whatever. I don't know why I didn't like that one. I just noticed that. Um, Final Fantasy IV after something. Anyway, in the comments, you can write. I could Google it right now. I don't want to. So, Final Fantasy VII, we finished. Okay, here we go. this is controversial pick for some people. Final Fantasy VIII. So the reason I rate Final Fantasy VIII D D D D Y D. A lot of it has to do with the anticipation for the next Final Fantasy game, which I was super excited for whatever came after Final Fantasy VII. And Final Fantasy VIII just disappointed me on several levels. The junction system I didn't like. The characters, I don't know. Just it's not even like the Squall is a mopey whatever. Because I mean, Cloud was the same thing. I did like the gun blades. I thought those were cool weapons. I mean, it's not a complete. I don't completely hate the game. It's just every few years people are like, "You need to try it again." And I'm like, "Okay," so I try again. I'm just like, "No, I don't know what it is about Final Fantasy VIII. Just can't get into it." Um, it's a lot of factors. It's not just the system or whatever. Lots and lots of factors. don't don't like it. Sorry if you love it. And this is the one I think is a generational thing, because I think of some people that are, I want to say, like 10 years younger than me. Maybe Final Fantasy VIII was their first Final Fantasy game. They love this game. That's cool. If you love it, um, can't say I agree. Sorry. All right, back to the good games. Final Fantasy IX, another of my favorites. Put that in the S. I'm not really sure if this is like ranking them in any kind of order, but Final Fantasy IX, would probably be number three, I would guess. Really like this game. It kind of went back to the roots, so to speak. That a lot of people say went back to the fantasy elements of Final Fantasy series, but this game not only did that, but had a lot of cool characters. I love the world in this game. I love the gameplay, the magic. Everything was really cool in this game, I thought. And this is a game I would love to see them do more with this world, instead of doing all these Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 13 spin-off games. Final Fantasy 9 would have been a cool one to explore more, I think. So big fan of that one. Okay, getting into the PlayStation 2 era, Final Fantasy 10. Yeah, I'm gonna put that as an A. This is probably my favorite of the PlayStation 2 games, I would say. And I can't really think of what all games were on the PlayStation 2, but probably not that many. But 10, I really enjoyed. A lot of people hate this one. Also, or this is one of those people either love it or hate it kind of games, it seems like. I liked a lot of the characters in this game. I liked the kind of tropical vibe it had. I even liked the blitzball stuff a little bit. Like as far as a mini game, I thought that was kind of an interesting game. A lot of the characters I liked. Titus, I always called him Titus because it looks like Titus in English. Titus is his name. It's not my favorite protagonist. I mean, a lot of the protagonists, I think, from Final Fantasy 10 and onward are, could just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the protagonists, but uh, really liked the game, was happy with the choice, and One thing I really enjoyed about this game was the fact that you could have all, basically your whole party could like switch in and out. I thought that was a cool concept. And a recent game that I played called Chained Echoes did something like that. I think there's a lot of games that probably do that, but this is the one that stands out to me. It's like I felt I needed to switch out characters. Some games like you don't really need to, but Final Fantasy X, I felt like I kind of needed to. So that's A tier. All right, next Final Fantasy 11. Okay, so disclaimer: I don't play the online Final Fantasy games. Uh, I have tried both of them. I'm just not a online person, I guess, as far as playing the Final Fantasy series. So I'm going to put this C tier just because I don't play them. If you love them and think they're the best in the series, then cool. But I've always kind of had a issue with Final Fantasy main series games being online. I just don't understand that logic. But I mean, they could just say Final Fantasy Online, and it would be much more identifiable. But here's the cards we're been dealt. So Final Fantasy 11, I think I played it a little bit. Um, Not my thing, but kudos to those that love it. I think it's something I try to love. I try to love M M M M O R P Gs, however you say it. Massively multiplayer online MMOs. But I'm just with my RPGs, I just like single player primarily. That's just me. All right, let's see. I skipped 10-2. 10-2. Very, very controversial game, I think. A lot of people were like, what the hell is this when it came out? Um, I was probably one of those. Why? Why are you making this game? The dress sphere thing I thought was super goofy. But then after actually playing it, I was like, wow, I actually actually kind of like this game. So I'm gonna put that B. It's kind of in the middle. Well, maybe like a A minus. I didn't hate the game. It kind of capitalized on expanding the 10 universe, but in a kind of a weird way I didn't expect. Where Yuna is like this pop star or whatever. Um, Very bizarre spinoff, but enjoyable. I liked it. I thought it was a fun whatever. And someone's hammering outside my window, probably because I put Final Fantasy 10-2, not 12, as A tier. All right, let's go back and third or not 13, 12. All right, Final Fantasy 12. And this is a hard one. I liked the kind of like Evil East world, and I liked a lot of the characters in this game, but combat was kind of MMO ish. I don't know how you would describe it. Kind of moved away from the turn based. I think this was the first game that kind of moved away from the turn based style and was more like a pick pause and pick. I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, I don't know. C, I guess. Yeah. just because I need to put more in the C list. Just not a game I probably want to replay at any point. And I guess that's unfortunate. I don't know what this is. Final Fantasy 12 RW. Maybe that's the, what is Final Fantasy? Okay, I have to Google this because I'm just like, I have no clue what this is. It's not Zodiac Age, is it? Final Fantasy 12 RW. Final Fantasy 12 RW. Revenant Wings. Oh, this is a main series game. Okay, this is not a main series game. I don't feel. This is a DS game. Um, I never played this one, so I'm just gonna put it C. Um, Similar to Final Fantasy 11, just never really played that one. I think if I did play Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings, I don't remember uh, anything about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it. Oh, After Years. That's the Final Fantasy 4 game. So I just Googled that now. Yeah. AF. Why does it say AF? Say AY After Years. Um, all right, Revenant Wings goes there. Okay, let's see. Final Fantasy 13. A lot of people, lot of people hate this one. Some people call it Final Fantasy Hallway or Final Fantasy can't make any decisions. So this is not one of those games that's universally loved. I would venture to say it's pretty low on my list as well. I don't hate it as much as 8. Can I put this in front of 8? But yeah, not a game I enjoyed very much. Final Fantasy 13 2. I also played. I like that one a little bit better than Final Fantasy 13. I don't know why. Um, and then Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. Um, Again, you would think, for a series I love so much, I wouldn't have so many at C, but some of the later games, I just Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. I don't remember particularly liking or loving it. I'm actually going to put 13 to B tier here just because I like that one better than these other ones, and I like I like that one about equal these. But Final Fantasy 1 is now too low. I'm going to put Final Fantasy 1 A tier because it's higher than these for sure. Okay, Final Fantasy 14. I know a lot of people love this one. Haven't played it. Want to play it. Looks like this would be my best chance to love Final Fantasy online game. But unfortunately, haven't played it. I'm going to put it here at the C, with the caveat that I do want to play it at some point. And last, Final Fantasy 15, another controversial game, also known as Final Fantasy Boy Band Edition. I was really excited for this one. It was in development years and years and years and years. I do like some of um, the combat stuff. I thought was cool. What I played of it, but unfortunately, this is a game I didn't finish. I only played the very beginning of it, so I feel like I can't really rank this one accurately. So I'm just going to put it C also. So I have a lot of C's here, as you can see. A lot of C's, as you can see. The only two games I just really didn't like is Final Fantasy 8 and Final Fantasy 13. I would venture to say Lightning Returns would probably be a D also. Final Fantasy 14 could potentially be a B if I ever played it. I'm going to put a B just because it seems promising. Screw it. C. B. Make the online fans happy. What I did play of it, I did like, what I did play. Um, but I'm just not a people person, I guess. When it comes to online games, I just can't find, parties that work with me for whatever reason. But now I have PlayStation 5. Final Fantasy 14 is relatively cheap. Might pick it up on there. Who knows? So, just to finalize, I would say my top three Final Fantasy games are probably 6, 4, and 9. And 7 and 9 could be switched around depending on what day you talk to me, I think. Sometimes 10 might be higher, even maybe top 5. Yeah, I'm going to move 10 here, like a S minus, A plus, I would say. So these would be my top 5 here, I think. So that concludes the video. If you enjoyed the video or have differing opinions or same opinions or just like talking about Final Fantasy, I could talk about Final Fantasy all day. But till next time, this is Gray Robe Review, and maybe I'm going to talk about some of these games behind me in the future. And machinery outside makes a loud noise to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Ew.